Hi, welcome to another episode of Frequency Podcast. I am your host, Mr. Dominus, and today we are talking about daddy boy dynamics, and we have a very special guest. Please introduce yourself to the people.
Hi, I'm David. I mean, most of y'all know me as King David Lyncoln on Instagram. Some people call me King, some people call me David. I'm not really too picky about it, so just pick one and just run with it.
So, I'm very excited about this episode. I've been wanting you on the show for a minute. But before we start, we are going to talk about MAL. Oh, and also I want to let you know, remember, this is your camera angle. So anytime that there's like anything super serious that you need to say, I'd be like, I was sucking the dicks at MAL this weekend, baby. Which I wasn't, but example, okay? But we are definitely gonna talk about MAL. And for those of you who don't know what MAL is, it is Mid-Atlantic Leather Weekend. It's a great weekend where other enthusiasts get to come around. But tell me, how did yours go?
I mean, mine was interesting. Interesting because, you kind of have these pre-prescribed ideas of what you're going to do on the weekend, how it's going to be, especially because it was my second experience. And I had
Your second MAL?
This is my second MAL.
Me too.
Yeah. Second MAL. And the first time I was there as someone who was, partnered. Mm-hmm. And so, I was a little bit more restrictive. We were 2 months in, I wanted to be a little bit more conservative, but I still had a good time, still met some great people. This time I was like, okay, I'm going to be an entire slut. I'm going to be an entire whore. I want to just kind of like have the whole experience of just being our boy for the weekend. Mm-hmm. I don't want to think about anything, all that. Of course, all those plans fell through. So, me being who I am, I kind of like said, okay, cool, we're going to make the best of it. We're still going to show up. We're still going to show out. And honestly, like I still ended up having a good time. I met some amazing people. I had some of the most interesting conversations in that lobby because a lot of these weekends for me are very conversational.
Absolutely. I remember seeing you in the lobby, and there was this man that had you pinned up against the wall with his mouth on your nipples, and it looked super hot. I was over there. I was like, okay.
See, the lobby was fun, right?
The lobby is always
the
fun.
lobby was fun. It's always a good time in the lobby, but at the same time, like you don't necessarily get like the full experience with people. I mean, yeah, you might make out, yeah, you might suck some nipples, you might feel on some dick, but. Well, I'm not sure about the sucking the dick in the lobby part because we still at the high now.
They had those like gaggle fucks of this like where it's people and then like you didn't see those.
I didn't see those.
It's just it was people surrounding somebody. And yes,
wow,
they were in there doing what they were doing.
See, I missed that.
Mm-hmm.
I missed that part, but still, I mean, it was a great time. Everybody was just kind of like really positive, really cool. I mean, my sexual encounters were mostly like very private, like people that I had known from before, we had, connections from before. So we got to like explore that on a deeper level. Mm-hmm. But I think the thing that really did it for me this weekend was like just meeting all these people, meeting a lot of people that I follow online.
Yes. I swear I walked into MAL like Thursday night. And I'm coming down the escalator and all I hear is, Mr. Dominus! And like this gaggle of like black guys run toward me and they're just all talking to me. And that was really fun too this weekend, meeting like all the people that I've been able to influence in the community. Yeah. That was really fun. Also, I will tell you, I met this man in the lobby. Oh. Okay. So this weekend I sniffed so many
pits
this weekend. Like I posted a video on Instagram. Well, now this is episode 5, so I posted this probably a month and a half ago. But I sniffed so many pits. And cool thing, before I get into that, I gotta set up my timer because baby, I will talk about this stuff all day. Make sure we stay on track. One of the things that I really like, so my line brother who is joining Onyx with me, he is very much into pit sniffing. And he was telling me, he's like watching you sniff people's pits and how open you are about pit sniffing. He's like, it's caused me to be able to do it more. He's like, I would smell people's pits and I'd want to smell, but then I wouldn't do it. But he's like, you don't give a fuck. You just ask. And there's plenty of people I asked this weekend that said no. And I'm like, okay, cool. But he's like, you've allowed me to step out of my comfort zone. And that's what this show is about.
Oh, absolutely.
And now, like, as I sniff pits, I'm like, come over here. His smell really good too. come sniff his pits too.
So the interesting thing about pits for me, right? It's like it's not an everybody thing. A lot of people think like, okay, the riper you are, the more mansin you have, like the better.
No.
Like, see, I like when I can smell a pit. The pit is clean. Right,
No, I like
you still have a little bit of man smell, a little bit of man musk, but you still know it's clean, right? I'm not talking like 7 days unshowered. That it's some gunk and grime all up in there. Like, no, I'm not playing that.
It depends on the person.
Like, I promise I'm not kink shaming anybody. To each his own. Like, if that's your jam, cool. That's not my jam, right?
Absolutely.
I love myself. I love myself a hairy pit. I love myself a clean pit.
I can do about like 3 days. After that, it's starting to get questionable.
Yeah,
but it depends because some people produce. Because let's be honest, like pit sniffing is you are attracted to the bacteria that's growing on the person's hair. It's sweating bacteria that's growing on the follicle. That's what it is that produces that smell. After 4 days, we getting into BO.
Yeah,
we don't like BO. We like pit smells. But you're absolutely right. But I met this. I think I saw one of the biggest dicks in my life this weekend. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yes, there's this man. I'm gonna pull him up on Instagram and show you real quick. Can't show y'all on the YouTube.
I kind of feel I know who you're talking about.
No, it was. What is his name? He sent me a message and he was just like, I have to unfollow some people.
Oh wow!
Before I can follow you. I'm not gonna say his name and put him out here in the streets.
We're not being messy over here.
This is him.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I saw him. So I have this very big interest with silicone, and I'm very much thinking about doing it. But I want some more information. So I saw his dick through his pants, and I was just like,
"But baby, that's all natural."
I said, "Is that a silicone penis?" He said, "Oh no, it's just me."
Yeah.
He said, "But I'm on Trimax right now," and I was like, I said, "Can I see it?" And he was like, totally like educational, and he was like, "Oh,
for science."
And he pulled this fucking baby arm cock. This man is in his maybe 60s, like late to mid 60s, avid bodybuilder. And he had this at least 10
absolutely. It's like
10
this.
to 11-inch fucking beer
like
can
this.
There. I was like, what the fuck? He said, I didn't realize I had a big dick until I was in my 50s. I said, baby, you are way above the curve. Okay?
Right. I'm talking like 99.99999th percentile. Like, I know who you're talking about, and it's some dick.
Is a massive. And I was like, okay, well, I said that's a lot of dick, but I was like, how you enjoy? But then we got past the dick, and I was like, how's your ML going? He's like, it hasn't really been. He's like, it's been okay. He's like, a lot of people just talk to me because I have a giant dick. And I'm like, well, that fucking sucks. He's like, I actually don't have to have conversations like how you and I are talking. Most people see my dick and they just want to get fucked. And he's like, well, it's MAL, so I've just been fucking. But he's like, I really like talking to people. I said, well, I'd love to get to talk to you a little bit more. And so we talked, and he's like, I'd really like to have some time with you. And I was like, well, first, that is say yes.
Right.
But I was like, apart from your dick, because honestly, his dick was a little scary. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, I'm not even running to him for that.
My motto is climb every mountain. I have zero fear. Literally,
a dick like that would take a connection for me to want you to want to fuck me, because that kind of dick is like you are. You know how some dicks you can do a certain type of clean for, and then some dicks you gotta clean extra. That's like extra clean out dick for.
That's like fisting level.
He is penetrating through your second hole. He is in there. But he was such a sweet man. That's what I want to point out. And I love that the ego of his cock did not influence who he was.
Definitely
that's what I really liked about him.
And that's like really one of the things that I love about some of the men that we have in this space. Like, they realize that it's about so much more than just the dick or the ass or the body, right? And then also, like, thinking about the leather community and coming to these events, right? People are just generally body positive. They kind of like into celebrating other people. Generally, I'm not gonna say it's all across the board, but generally speaking, and this is one of the things I love about the leather community. It's kind of like everybody, that we have some people with superlatives, like like him.
Yes.
But then at the same time, it's not like the only thing, and people see that and people know that, and it's like, we celebrate that, but what else?
Yes. There's got to be. It's you point that out. There are so many lonely people at MAL. So many. And it's crazy because you're like, you see, there's like over 4,000 people in this hotel. And a lot of them are lonely. And a lot of them are looking for actual like intimacy and connection with people. A lot of them just want to fuck. And they use that for that weekend. But the amount of people who just really want a connection. They just want to talk to people. And I be telling people like, yeah, anyone can walk down, go to the 11th floor, look at the atrium, find a room, go pack a hole.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are looking for like intimate connections. And I'm telling you that sex is way better.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Depending on where you are in your life. Because some people just really want the whole fucking, and that's totally fine. But for me, like in my experience, like me and that person would have to have a conversation before he fucked me. Like we would have to be like connected. And I was telling him like, I'm demisexual. As beautiful as you are, this does nothing for me until we connect here. But I did, I will say I got a little googly eyed. So there's this guy, he lives in Palm Springs. I did an interview with him. I think you know him.
Possibly.
Well, you might have met him. I sent a picture of him to Daddy yesterday. Because he was just like, who are you talking about?
Oh wow.
This him.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So
those are like two amazing
super amazing
people,
guy, right? I don't
amazing people
because I don't know how he feels.
Love them both.
Interview with me.
Oh,
he did two. He did an interview last. I mean, he did an interview this one, but I'm not gonna say his name. But the point is, he has a silicone penis, and I saw him in the hallway, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I said, "I've been looking for you all weekend." I said, "Can I touch your penis?" And he was just like, I said, "I'm very interested in silicone injections, and you know, like all of that goes into it. The questions, the medical, the concerns. Like, I want to." And I said, "My biggest thing is like, I really want to touch a hard silicone penis." And I said, and I'm like, "I'm not trying to fuck you. Like, I just really have questions, and I'm curious." He's like, "Well, the best way to get hard is suck it." I said, "Can't do that."
Right.
Daddy has your own rules, but. My friend was like, "I'll suck it for you." I said, "Absolutely, please come with me, come suck his dick." But he was
that's what friends are for, aren't
exactly.
they?
My friends, me helping my friends.
That's what friends are for.
Give blows. But he was so nice, and like he pulled his dick out in the hallway, and he was just like, "I have my doctor." He's like, fondle away, and I'm just like, I'm literally inspecting this like a scientist. I lift his dick up. I'm like, "Oh my
Again,
god!"
for science.
But
this is research.
I was so intrigued because like I've seen some guys who have silicone injections and their dicks just look alien like, and then you have some that like look really really nice.
Yeah.
But that was it. What else did you get to do?
I mean, mine was like really, really, really dry. But like again,
Daddy had me on a leash.
Let me say though, dry in terms of like the body count. But when you think about it, does the body count really matter that much? Because I made so many good connections.
Yes, it may have been dry sexually, but not overall.
Not overall. And I think
agree.
that was probably more important to me because I mean, I had when I tell you some of the best conversations and the best moments, I mean, even just like moments of like the hugs, the cuddling with people like right there in the lobby.
Absolutely.
It was absolutely amazing for me to experience that, especially given like, you know, I had all these plans and, you know, they kind of fell through, but, you know, you kind of go into it with like positivity and you're like, okay, cool. Like, let's see what happens.
Our mutual friend in New York, when I saw him, much love for him. But I saw him in the hall, in the lobby, and he saw me and he runs to me and he gives me this big hug and I gave him a bear hug and then he ends up jumping in my arms like a big old giant kid. And we had this long hug. It was really good to see him. And then one of my other friends that lives here, we just had this moment. And then I met that guy who does the nipple thing. I am pumping my nipples as we speak for this entire episode because this guy told me. So if you go watch that Instagram reel that I posted with the on the Mr. Dominus IG page with me sniffing people's pits, he's the first one I sniffed. Older black guy, you know, with a great beard. And he said, if my nips aren't being sucked, they're being pumped. And they get pumped all fucking day.
Listen,
and
I think I know who you're talking about because I saw him in the lobby, and that is an imperious man with an imperious chest and an imperious beard. And when I tell you the nips are nipping,
like they are like fucking knobs,
right?
Like, and he's like, he let me touch him and feel him, and it was
like,
oh my god. He's like, yeah. If they're not in a mouth, they're in the pump.
Yeah.
And then if they're not, either he's like, either my hands are on them, or a sucker is on them, or a mouth is on them.
But you want to know, as you mentioned that, like in terms of like all these interactions that we've had in the lobby that were like really fun. One of the great things, at least for me, I don't know if this is true across the board for everybody, but everyone was very big on consent. And
Absolutely.
so like, yeah, that was
Yes.
like a theme almost for the weekend. Like people were like, may I touch you? May I do this? May I suck your nipples? Can I ask you about this? Is it okay if I touch you? Like people were very respectful of personal space. And a lot of people have this idea that, you go into the leather community, you're in this very sexually
like
charged.
whatever.
Yeah. Like they just kind of think it's sexually charged and like we just gonna do. Like, no, it's
I think the only non-consensual thing people do is the long hug. Like if someone's attracted to you, they may reach for a hug, and then it's like it's a very feely hug. It's not like a rub down hug, but it's like
it's like levels to the hug. So like, yeah,
you feel good, and then after that, people are like, "Can I touch?"
Right.
I don't mind that. That's fine.
right. And then so it's levels, right? Sometimes you have like that little church hug where it's kind of like the space in between.
There's no space.
And then there's no space in between, and then there's a hug, and then it gets mega tight, and then the final level. After that mega tight hug, there's that pause when you're kind of like releasing, and then you look at each other, and it's like, okay, let's make out.
Absolutely. When I tell you, you got to be able to read body cues.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of people don't. Like, a lot of people really rely heavily on consent, and I'm like, consent is consent. I do not believe in nonverbal consent, but I believe in reading people's cues to understand what they're into.
Absolutely.
And it's okay if you lean in for a kiss, but just wait for the anticipation to come back. But don't just go for something without asking. Absolutely fucking not. I'm very happy. I didn't have any experiences like that.
Yeah, I didn't have any experiences
Everyone
like that.
asked to touch me, and even when I did the pit video, like my friend filmed it, and I went up to everybody. I'm filming a video. Will you be recorded? Are you okay with being recorded? And can I sip your pits on camera? And they were like, yes.
But a big part of what kind of like influenced my ability to move through these spaces is the fact that I grew up in a time, and not everyone my age has grown up in this time, okay? But as someone who grew up in the Caribbean, I had to learn how to cruise. Yeah. Like the art of cruising is this lost art. The art of flirting is an art that is being lost. And so like
everyone's used to just get
I mean, like we're now living in an era where it's kind of like, okay, you want some dick, you just kind of like go on Sniffies. You want some ass, you go on Sniffies. You go on Grindr, whatever is your jam, right? You get on the apps and you do your thing. You get what you want, and you just go about along your way. Whereas there is a time investment and an energy investment in the art of cruising and flirting. Like there's nothing like it. It creates this really high tension, and when you finally get to that point absolutely, and when you finally get to that point of release, and when I say point of release, that point of release doesn't necessarily have to be sex. You could cruise somebody and you can flirt with somebody, and then you just have the most intense fucking kiss of your life. I'm talking like fireworks going off in your head.
Woof.
Right, that part.
I remember, I think the favorite part for me in cruising is when you're walking past a guy and you're both like, and it's the look back. When you both like lock eyes after you pass. And like, so this is mutual. We both think each other are hot.
So I have to mention this. So like, I'm a scroll back from MAL a little bit back to my early 20s. Okay. I'm in college. I studied in Cuba. So I was like in Santiago de Cuba. And oh my God, cruising in Cuba is the fucking best. I remember one night I'm walking back home. This is like 2 a.m. I just left the club. I've danced the entire night away. Streets are empty, and I see this hot man coming down the street. I'm like, what? Like, and I'm thinking to myself, oh no, this man is probably straight. And then I look around, and then I get that look back, and I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna just change direction. So I'm walking down the street and I see this man going around a corner, and like, no, you know that there's two things that can happen. Either I follow this man around a corner and I'm gonna die, or I follow this.
Oh my God. I was thinking kidnap. It's just
you never know. Or I could get some of the best dick of my life.
The places your dick will lead you.
Right. And sometimes your dick may lead you to the front porch of somebody's house where you kind of just decide that you're going to get on your knees and worship a giant penis. So, yeah.
Fucking Thank you, Mr. Cuban man in Miami.
What? Not in Miami. This is like Cuba.
Oh, this is Cuba.
Cuba.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, thank you.
Good times.
We
College.
appreciate you for adding to the experiences.
God, I was such a whore in college.
But we all were. I was fucking so many people. Grown men too. We got to get into our next segment. But I think the final thing that I really enjoyed about MAL. So MAL had these pamphlets. And I was on the cover of one of the pamphlets. And it was very nice to see the representation of Black people at MAL. And to see like my video, there's a 40-minute video. I'll post the link once they say we can. But it was all the video that we took and they played it on the screens at the hotel. And it was so cute just seeing me on the fucking screen. And I was just like, that's me.
Listen,
it was really nice.
I saw that. I saw the pictures of you on the pamphlets and stuff. And I'm like, I love this because, I mean, we're on your podcast now, and I swear I'm not like gassing you up, like, but real talk, people don't just like run up to you in the lobby just because you're doing some bullshit. Like, you are really like, you know, doing it for the people of color and not just the Black men, just like for everybody. And that I'm glad that you're occupying that space and just like really, you know, stepping out there for all of us.
I'm trying, y'all. This weekend it was very inspirational to me. Like I had this moment on the elevator, like this person stopped me and they're just like damn near in tears, like eyes are watering up. They're just like, your podcast has done so much for me. It's just allowed me to feel liberated and to try things that I haven't done. But we got to move on to our next segment because this topic is very important to both of us, actually. So we're gonna do this little teaser.
Okay.
So we are going to rate some kinks. All right.
Okay.
So we can see. So one of the things about my show is people will slide into your DMs. Okay. I've definitely gotten a lot of the guests fucked. Okay. Like one of them, one of my previous guests, I saw him at MAL this weekend. He was just like, I found one of the love of my lives from your podcast. He saw my episode and he messaged me and we are dating and it's going fucking great.
Oh wow!
And I was just like, look at frequency helping the people. Okay. Okay. So let's start. So we're gonna rate these from 1 to 3 is not for me. 4 to 6 is curious. 7 to 8 is I get the appeal. 9 to 10 that's my lane. Okay. You'll love it. Okay. All right. So we're gonna start with the first one.
Hold on. Wait.
Go ahead.
When we're talking about these kinks, are we specifying where we're
you?
Yeah, for me, but are we specifying top or bottom? Because it's different now.
Some of these don't include top or bottom.
Okay,
but if they do, right. we'll
we'll get into it.
All right, so masculania is the first one. And masculania is the attraction to natural body scents, sweats, and pheromones. Is this not for me, curious, I get the appeal, or that's my lane? Don't judge me.
I get the appeal. That's definitely like a 6, maybe a 7 for me.
6 to 7. That is a fucking 20 for me. 100. Like I fucking love sniffing pits. Like the equivalent of sniffing pits is poppers. Like I sniff a pit and my hole goes. Literally.
My dick responds to pits. Not my hole. I'm sorry. And poppers aren't really my jam, but I love a good pit. I love a good pit.
We'll talk about. I need to do an episode talking or a segment on poppers because my friend got some poppers from the UK, phenomenal, like and it wasn't like I just wanted to sniff them. They smelled good and they made me feel good. Okay. All poppers are the same. All right, let's do the next one. Somnophilia, the arousal connected to trust and vulnerability around rest or sleep with prior consent.
Yeah, that's a 0 for me. Like, I mean, like, why? Okay, not kink shaming, but I mean, I kind of want to actually have an actual interaction where the person's actually conscious. I guess that's just me, though. That's just me.
Where I see it from is like if I see Daddy sleeping, you know, and he is snoring, mowing down the trees, and Dick is here, balls on his fucking leg, and he's just out.
Okay, can I change my?
And you're watching him sleep. I'm like, okay.
I'm feeling more like a 5 now. Okay. Now that you put it like that,
like paint the arousal to them sleeping. Like I would, like I've seen my husband sleeping sometimes, and I'm just like he's just, and my husband sleeps like a dude. Like you know he's just out, legs open, just dick out, and he just sleeps. And I'm just like. I don't know if the arousal is him sleeping. I think it's the state that he's in while he's sleeping. Because when he's cuddled up under the bed, I'm not aroused. But when he's laid out sleeping,
See, when you put it like that, no, that's a visual.
yes,
That's that like I could watch porn like that.
exactly.
Right.
Oh, someone just a hot guy just sleeping naked.
Hard
probably,
dick.
Probably
Morning
does
wood.
some trimix before he goes to sleep. So his
Fuck
dick's
the trimix again. Morning wood. Like
True. Absolutely true. All right. So I want to make sure I'm saying this right. Dacrophilia.
Dacrophilia.
The connection to tears or emotional release, often tied to vulnerability, but not harm. Is this a not for me, curious, I get the appeal, or that's my lane?
I kind of.
It's not for me.
It's
you start
not
crying, my dick's gonna go soft.
Yeah, it's not
Absolutely.
really for me. But I think I can see
Unless
why
they're
some
tears
people
of joy,
might.
if I'm fucking you so good and you're crying.
Yeah, right. But like I can kind of see why some people might like that.
It's a sense of vulnerability.
Yeah, it's a vulnerability.
It's
an openness.
I guess when the initial response to somebody crying is "What's wrong?" It's not "Let me fuck you harder."
Right.
I'm hard now. Most people, not kink shaming. And I guess this is a kink that you really have to explore with like someone you got to connect.
Yeah,
with.
like that definitely is like one
This
of those
is not
high...
I'm at the bar, you're crying. Oh, I want to fuck him.
Right. Definitely not.
All right. Sapiosexual, attraction to intelligence, conversation, and mental stimulation.
9. Possibly a 10, but
Tell the camera your
9.
answer.
Like 9. Like I'm not gonna be like, okay, like 10, because 10 is to me, I'm gonna give a 10 to like absolute must have, can't do without it kind of kink.
Okay.
Right? But like yeah, love that.
9.
Love that.
I think for me, it's between the curious and I get the appeal. I get the appeal. Everybody ain't smart, right? Just everybody is not smart. And my thing is, as a demisexual, I don't require you to be smart. I require you to be able to connect.
No.
And so that's why I was like, for me, it's a 7 to 8. Like intelligent people are extremely sexy to me.
Oh, yeah.
But like sometimes my only thing with people who are intelligent, who know they're intelligent, they can sometimes be arrogant. And that's my only issue.
Yes.
Where like dumb people don't act like oh, I don't want to offend anybody. Like my husband is not dumb. My husband is very country, and he plays in his countryness, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm from the backwoods, I'll spit on it and stick it. Like he's very country, and he plays in his role, and he doesn't try and be something else. I feel like when sometimes, I'm not saying everyone is like this, when someone is very educated, they sometimes don't allow themselves to connect with people unless they're on their wavelength.
I think that's something that used to turn me on even as a kid. Because let's be clear, a lot of kinks actually come from childhood.
Absolutely.
Right. And so like one of the things I absolutely used to love was just any kind of like intellectual discourse or sharing what we've learned or like going over stuff, and I just wanted to know more and more and more. And I can think about like 2 very clear-cut moments this weekend, one not MAL related and one MAL related, where I had the best conversations. I mean, not just necessarily about leather itself, but just about life and people. Like,
now when
bitch,
you
tell me
connect
about
with them and mentally stimulate, it's hot.
like,
absolutely.
Listen, if somebody comes to me and starts talking about Saturn's rings, Saturn being extra, like I was watching this influencer and he has some gripe with Saturn, and I'm like, okay, I totally agree. I have a fucking gripe with Saturn, and if you start telling me about Saturn's rings and mass and the 270 something moons, like, bitch, like I'm here for it. Like, let's talk.
Let's go fuck.
Yeah, let's go fuck. Let's go fuck. If you want to tell me about the intricacies of the hanky code, and especially if you're going to talk to me about a fetish thing, and you're really going in deep to the history, the legacy, the development of it, what like where it is now. Like if you can talk about those things with me,
Yeah.
right? Like kinkiness, but on an intellectual level. 100% hard all the time. Let's go. We can fuck. Like we're doing it today.
I guess I probably have to change my thing. My only thing is like, I like smart people. don't like when smart people act like they're better than other
Yeah,
people.
definitely not. Arrogance is not cute.
Yes.
Confidence is nice. Arrogance is not cute.
But I also like dumb people too, like sexually. I just think they're kind
like,
of
no, like I will talk to anybody, and honestly, like I'm never going to impose my intelligence on anybody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like everybody is intelligent, and everybody can like I don't care.
I like a simpleton.
Yeah,
sometimes.
no, but simple doesn't necessarily mean that you're unintelligent.
True,
like
very true.
let's be clear. Like there are a lot of simple people that know a lot of stuff, but they just choose to do what they prefer, and that's fine.
Sometimes people who just like, and there's nothing wrong with being. Well, let me take back what I said. Not dumb. I don't. Everyone has their levels of intelligence, but I just like somebody who's kind of simple. Like sometimes sexually,
Simplicity is nice.
Sometimes they
nice.
know what they're there for. They're not trying to
like let's just do some low bro shit.
Yeah.
Like, no, and I'm cool with that. Like as much as I like smart, I can like I'm like the least high maintenance person in the world, right?
But the smart conversations though are good for after sex.
Oh, absolutely. They
Them
really
people will stimulate your mind. They
really
don't fuck
are.
your hole and they don't got your mind going.
But like also when it comes to like the country and the simple, like put me on a farm, baby, anywhere. Like I love me a good simple life.
I love country boys.
Oh God, yes.
That is a gigantic weakness for me.
Farm boy fantasy.
I do too. Absolutely. Oh my God. I really do have a farm boy fantasy.
Shout out to all the farm boys.
Like I won't like, not even in the hay, because that's just stereotypical. Like I just want like out in a farm, in the house on the farm, and he's like coming from like picking up the eggs or whatever farm work he did. He smells musty from being out there and just lays fucking morning wood.
Baby, no, I want to be working out there with him. I want us both to be in the sweat and we fall down together in the barn and we just start going at it.
As a people, we spent enough time in the field. I'm gonna sit on the porch and I'm gonna watch that man work.
I grew up on a farm, so I love me a farm. And,
I don't like doing
and farming the fields. Let's be clear.
They're not, but
Let's be clear.
I'm gonna take the opportunity to be on the porch. Okay,
I feel you. Porch life is good too.
Look at that man work. What you want, Daddy? All right, so we're gonna get into our episode. All right, so we've got about 40 minutes. So today we are going to be talking about daddy-boy relationships. So we're gonna start with setting up the emotional foundations, guidance, leadership, and care, emotional intelligence, growth, and the perspective from a POC stance. And then we'll go into some of our closing. So starting off, how do you define daddy boys as an emotional and relationship dynamic, or not just a kink? How is that for you?
Okay, so I'm going to preface this by saying like a lot of this I've had to define based on my experience. I kind of feel like a lot of the relationship dynamics, everybody thinks it's like a one size fits all, and I kind of feel like that's not the case, right? For me, when you think about a daddy boy relationship, it is a relationship that, even though it can be sexual, it's also rooted in guidance, mentorship, that kind of fatherly presence. Those are the cornerstones, right? Now, do you get sexual with it, and does that contribute to the hotness of the sex? 100%, right? Does it always have to be between somebody who's younger and older? Not necessarily. I prefer older because so honestly, like the wisdom that is imparted, just from like all those interactions is really important to me. So when I go into those kinds of dynamics, the things that are important to me are the mentorship and the guidance, and I kind of use those as the defining factors, right? So yeah, that's
what are some emotional and psychological or spiritual needs that daddy boy dynamics? And before we go into this, I want to be very clear. Dom sub and daddy boy dynamics are not the same.
They are not.
A lot of people
not.
confuse those things. They are both dynamics that revolve around a sense of dominance and submission being given, but they're very different in how they're operated. One is very, very structured, and one is more emotional based. One is very leadership centered, and one is more growing you up in a way of how to make you access what you need for your life, or habilitate you to be the best person.
Yeah.
I kind of.
I didn't mean to cut you. I kind of feel like there's a fine line when it comes to them, but I think the real thing that differentiates them is that one is rooted in a supportive kind of system and love.
Absolutely.
And both are support systems, right? Don't get me wrong. Another one is more rooted in power exchange.
Yes.
Right.
And service. Absolutely.
And the thing is, and when we talk about the service, I mean, shout out to the person who taught me this, that it's all service, whether you're dominant or submissive, right? But at the end of the day, I think it's the power exchange that really defines a dom sub relationship. Like, I have recently engaged doms, right? Like, I had previously been a little bit apprehensive about it because I mean, I have a lot of love for myself, and I don't really want anyone to kind of like feel like they can just like run all over me and walk all over me. So it took me some time to actually like,
boys.
no, you're right. And
Absolutely.
it took me some time and some really bad experiences to like really be strong enough to say, hey, I am so confident and resolute in myself that I'm now ready to give over my power to somebody else. That doesn't mean that I'm just going to give it over to just anybody. That has to be earned. But I think that's the defining thing with a dom sub relationship. Whereas a daddy boy relationship, it's the mentorship, the guidance, the fatherly love, the there from the boys' end, there's this desire to make daddy proud and to be better and to grow. Like it's very nuanced and it looks a little bit different for a lot of people. But I think there's heavier power exchange, whereas the daddy boy relationship, the power exchange isn't necessarily like the main tenet.
And the question, it was like, what does this do for you? So like, I know like a little history on me. Like, so everyone sees Mr. Dominus as this like big dom, and like definitely that is part of my who I am. But there's also a side of me that is very, very much boy oriented. And like, I grew up like not having a dad. I grew up, heavily in the church. We were both Jamaican. And so I grew up with this very strong, like my father was present, but not there. Like, he was a father, not a dad. I didn't have a daddy growing up. And so like, for me, I always had this desire to please a male figure. But I always struggled with being able to be open with men because I was always around mom. And so it wasn't until like it really started to affect me like when my teenage years, like wanting to have a male figure in my life. And like, I remember going to church and like meeting like the deacons and, really being in a way submissive to them. Like, what can I do to help? And it wasn't until I got into like my 20s when I started to discover daddy boy relationships. And it was like, oh, you can be in a relationship where someone treats you like a son and they also love you as a partner and they fuck you like a whore.
Right.
And it's not like your typical heteronormative relationship where, oh, we're both equal and, we do everything together, or we, there's like, we consider everything together. Like, there are a lot of people out there, and I'm not saying every relationship is not going to be like mine. Like, oh, well, I didn't have a daddy, so I need this now. And nothing's wrong with that. That was definitely my case. But it was nice to discover that relationship was there. And for me, it filled this desire to be, like, I still have this desire in me to this day. Like, I want you to be proud of me.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to say, good boy. That
God,
circuits.
Those two words are like, I mean, can I even say this? Boy crack. No, I mean that in the most hilarious of ways. I hope I didn't offend anybody when I said that. But I mean, I'm glad that you pointed that out. Because I mean, for me, it was a little bit different. I grew up in a household where my dad was present, my mom was present. Now, granted, my dad and I don't necessarily have the best relationship, but one thing I definitely always do, I have a lot of respect for that man. That man provided, he put that roof over my head, he showed up and he showed out. No, my sexuality was probably the thing that created that gap, right? And there's a lot of
parents. Look here, that don't.
And that's not something that I hold against him either, because I mean, that's tradition. That's tradition. It's you're steeped in the culture, but at the same time,
wait. Let's stop. Hold on. I agree with you. There's a tradition, and then I still think that, and I think that Caribbeans are so heavily engulfed in outward perception versus actually loving.
Oh, absolutely,
family.
absolutely.
Because like, I get that being a batibwa is not
It's not desirable.
It's not desirable. You don't necessarily want that for your kid. But then where is the like, I had you for 9 months in my belly. You know, you came out of my nutsack. I've grown you up for these years. And this one trait of whose cock I want in my mouth defines how you treat me.
Exactly.
And that is something that Caribbean parents do have to be held accountable to. I do get the stigma for this has been perpetuated from time. Like, we don't deal with this. And what history being, like, I know in Jamaica, a lot of the men, especially when they were being colonized, they used to fuck the slaves.
I mean,
to demasculate them. And I know in Jamaica, like, it's a thing. Homosexuality, I don't see it coming to pass to be accepted.
I don't
anytime
think so
soon. Anytime soon.
I don't think so. And honestly, like, I think, when you pointing that out is really important because, you know, like looking back at why I kind of desired that kind of daddy boy relationship, I realized that when I found male figures who just kind of like accepted me for me, but also still kind of embodied that kind of raw masculinity that I saw in my father. Raw masculinity, not toxic masculinity. There's a difference.
Absolutely.
You know, but like,
alphas.
I kind of, that kind of alpha energy, but still showing that care, that love, and that willingness to guide. I crave that so much. So I don't really think that, you know, it was necessarily because of an absenteeism of my father. I just kind of think that I was always attracted to that masculinity and I wanted to learn more about it. And I wanted to have like that safe space to learn about it. Being in Jamaica, finding that was so rare because there are people who grew up with their fathers, but then they have other figures around them that are welcoming, that allow them to do that. Yeah. So here I found that, you know, so it was very exhilarating for me to finally, you know, start engaging that side of myself.
Yeah, I think daddy boy relationships are they're so beautiful when they're done right. Cause like I think and a lot of, you know, it's very interesting to me how separate those dynamics tend to be sometimes. Like I see a lot of boys that, cause a lot of times I was seeing daddy, this is my daddy and dom, right? And then I think a lot of people are realizing like the vetting system is becoming a thing where people are actually understanding like who is for them because your daddy may not be able to be your dom.
Exactly.
And I love the fact that a lot of people are understanding where their needs for a daddy implement into their lives and how it helps them in whatever they need. And I like that at MAL. Like I saw this one guy, he was like, this is my daddy, this is my husband, this is my daddy, and then this is my dom.
Right.
Right?
All
and he
three.
Realized like you not, and I feel like y'all be looking for all of that person.
Listen,
in one.
okay. I am so glad that you brought that. Okay, so
it's okay for them to be different.
So fun fact, 2023, I dated this guy, right? Older guy. And one of the things that I believe strongly caused friction was the fact that at the time when we were dating, I didn't necessarily identify as a boy. I didn't really know. And so, you know, after, you know, we broke up and, you know, I was kind of like trying to get away from everything. And I go to Palm Springs of all places, AKA West Coast Daddy Land.
Central.
West Coast Daddy Land.
Ooh.
We like it. So
they look like daddies. Not all of them are daddies. Beware.
They are
a lot of them look like and they act like boys. Be careful.
But right. But you know, on that trip, I kind of realized like, how does one even have daddy issues in Daddyland? And then it dawned on me like, oh shit, I'm a boy. You know, and once I made that distinction, it just came all rushing in that I made the mistake of looking for daddy in all my different relationships, whether they were friendships, whether they were boyfriends, and now I was kind of imposing all these unexpected, all these expectations on them that they didn't sign up for.
Absolutely.
Right. And so once I had, like you definitely have to start thinking about it because like once I came into that realization, now I was like, okay, cool. Let me start separating the two because having that awareness allowed me to separate the two. Now, there are some people who can actually have people who are their daddy and their boyfriend, and that's great. I know that me right now, at least where I am in my life right now,
my husband is not my daddy. I need y'all to know that.
Yeah.
And my husband understands he's not my daddy, and my husband respects my actual daddy, and the two of them be ganging up on me.
Exactly. But I kind of feel like in a relationship with a boyfriend, right? You want that kind of level of parity and equality, right? Whereas in a daddy boy relationship, there is a particular degree of reverence for daddy. And
Reverence.
yeah, reverence. Like, no,
I love
like,
that.
I mean, that's how I see it.
I definitely love that. Absolutely, reverence for daddy.
Yeah, there's a reverence for daddy, and a lot of daddies show reverence for the boy too, and I love when that kind of reciprocation is there.
Relationship. It's very, I don't know. It's more. I love that reverence. Absolutely.
It's kind of like for example, I've had experiences, with people who I would love for them to be my official daddies. Like, because let's be clear, they're daddies and then there's your daddy. Very big difference.
Yes.
I can interact with 10 men today. I could call him daddy because daddy sets the tone for what do I expect from you, right? And how would I like you to engage me? Thank you to Edge for teaching us that on Full Call podcast. But at the same time, not my daddy. My daddy is mine. We have a special thing going on.
I'm very particular with that word.
Mine. That's such charged language.
So I don't even call anyone daddy, unless and not nothing's wrong with you calling them daddy. But for me, I every daddy I've had, I tell them I'm just if I call you this has so much significance to me. And I think some of y'all problems, y'all be out here calling everybody daddy. And but y'all be meaning it. I want you to be my daddy. And I'm that term, even though I know it's a colloquialism of how we say things in the gay world, but it's just a lot. I've talked to a lot of men. They're just I just get called daddy so much. I guess I am one. I'm no. If you want to be a daddy, don't be a daddy.
No.
Just because you got a belly and a beard doesn't make you a daddy. It makes you a bear. It doesn't make you a daddy. Okay. Because to be a daddy, you have to be nurturing. You have to understand. You have to want to care for somebody. And I think that the word daddy needs to earn some respect.
It does, and because there's a difference between daddy cosplay. Well, okay, so you have daddy cosplay. You have daddy role play.
What is daddy cosplay? Am I dressing him as Peter Griffin?
So
he's a horrible.
No. Honestly, there are people who image wise, they want to present as daddy. They want to be perceived as daddy, but their behavior doesn't actually reflect that of daddy.
Isn't that
there is no
a lot though?
Well, actually, not necessarily, and not really. I kind of feel like.
Which town do you think has the most presenting daddies that aren't daddies?
Oh, I don't think I can name anyone today because I kind of feel like they're everywhere, right? But there are people who will.
I think Wilton Manors has the most presenting daddies that aren't daddies.
I might beg to differ.
Okay, where do you think?
Based on my experience, I'm just saying. But I kind of feel I don't think that there's any one city necessarily, but I'm always cautious of anybody who is, ready to be perceived as daddy, but they have no interest in nurturing. They have no interest in care. It's kind of for me, boy collectors, and I hope we get to talk about this too. The boy collectors, those are daddy cosplayers, right? You're not actually daddy. You're just wanting to be perceived as daddy because it's good for your ego. You like hearing the word. You have the beard. You have the age. Yeah, just a whole fucking roster. No, you have the daddy role play. You're in the bedroom. No, at that point.
Who's your daddy?
No, seriously. Again, this is not gospel. This is just my personal thing. Y'all can use it if y'all want, but yeah, there's daddy role play where in the bedroom you're daddy, but outside of the bedroom it's okay, we're back to normal.
I definitely do daddy role play with Haskell. Haskell call me boy in the bedroom.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, but outside of that, I don't call him that. I called Haskell daddy once and he was just what'd you call me? And I was thank you. And it was on accident. I just accidentally said it. He's no. He's I am Poppy. So, do not call me that.
Listen, I kid you not. I had this experience right after Atlanta Pride, right? There's this guy, and he was in town. We had played before, and it was just one of those weekends where I kind of it was very long, and I'm I just need to kind of get out of my head a little. So he's coming over, and I'm I kind of just don't want to be in my head. I kind of just need to be daddy and just kind of take charge. And for for the time that we were fucking, he most certainly was daddy. He did it very well. He took very, very good care of me in that moment. And I absolutely lived for all of it, right? Now that was good daddy role play. But then you have like daddy, like my daddy, like you live this lifestyle, like your intention is to nurture boys, take care of them, not necessarily financially, but like take care of them in terms of like looking out for them, mentor them, guide them, right? Help them make better decisions, help them develop into the men that you know that they can be, right? And you know, I think that's one of the scariest things for a daddy to be. I'm not a daddy myself, but I can see how that's scary because there are very many boys out there, and we're not gonna like just because we're boys, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like, oh, we're just awesome and perfect. A lot of boys take advantage of that. Absolutely. Take advantage of that, and there are a lot of jaded daddies because the boys have taken advantage of them. They have taken advantage of their kindness, their time investment, and they have no gratitude for it. No man, but like seriously, it's a huge problem, I think, and they come into these relationships with like all their trauma, and they don't want to like resolve their like come into the relationship with an, even if you're not entirely healed.
What do they call that? Like when you like bomb somebody with your trauma and stuff in relationships, and I feel is it like
trauma dumping?
Like, is that the term?
I don't know. I'm not. I'm medical, but I'm not in psychology. I feel like
a lot of boys do that. Like when they meet a daddy, it's just like, oh, I want a daddy to do this and everything, and it's like I agree with it, but it goes vice versa. Like it happens from the daddy's point, it happens from the boy's point. But I have met more jaded daddies than I have boys. Because
here's the problem: the boys aren't asking, what am I bringing to the table?
Mostly I don't got shit to bring.
No. Here's the thing. I have what I call a dinner party of love. I am the fucking table, and I'm going to furnish the table with everything that brings me joy. No. Can a daddy come and partake of the table? Absolutely. He never has to question what I bring to the table because it's been there. It's been there on the table, right?
I think that is so important. But finish your statement.
No, but like a lot of these boys, like they want to learn, they want to grow, they want this, and they just nag. What are you doing to, like, it's like Beyonce said, let me upgrade you.
Yes.
But right? What are you doing for him?
But Jay-Z still has things to bring to the table as well. And that's the important thing. It's like you have to be willing to listen. You have to be able, because a lot of y'all are boys, but y'all think you're boys, but you're brats.
Right.
Okay? And those are very two different things. And it's like y'all want somebody to chase y'all, and you want somebody to like be hard with you. But it's like, as a boy, like I know that I have the ability to listen. I know I have the ability to understand. I also have the ability to challenge. And I do think that boys, as much care as a daddy is giving you, you need to return that care as well. Oh, it's like, please believe, I'll be on FaceTime with daddy. Oh, we were on FaceTime last night. You don't hear about this. We were on FaceTime last night, and I saw him consume like sugar in so many ways. And I was like, how? I said, why are you doing this? And he was just like, well, I was hungry. I was like, you can't eat this and this and this. And he was like, but it's natural sugar. I was like, no. But I'm giving that example to say, it's like, as much care as daddy gives to me for my endeavors, for my life, as a boy, you still have to show that you care for your daddy and showing up for him in the other ways, because he can only give as much as he's getting in time. Some daddies have more to give, and they're willing with not receiving as much, but they still have feelings too.
Yeah, they absolutely do. But then the challenge then becomes like so like a boy like me, I'm not gonna come to a daddy boy relationship thinking about what I'm gonna get. I mean, yeah, no, there are things there are expectations I have, but I'm always thinking about what I'm going to give first. No, there are a lot of daddies that don't want you to give anything. They just kind of like want you to just kind of like be and just kind of, I'm like, I'm right. I don't want to be a kept boy.
And it's for some people, it's not our thing.
But it's not my thing.
Yes, I agree.
I want to know that if he comes home from a long day of work and, you know, he's like tired, you know, all right, cool. Let me drive. Let me make you some food. Let me take care of this. Let me rub your feet. Let me give you a massage. Yeah, right. No, I mean, and it's not like a lot of people tend to veer away from that because I think it's like very, I don't know, feminizing. It's emasculating to show up like that. But like shit, like listen, if daddy's showing up for me emotionally and all these things, like I can show up as well. And sometimes it might look like that because let's face it, there are a lot of privileges involved here. There is, for example, the age privilege, where you're automatically seen as wiser when you're daddy. There is the financial privilege, the step, like usually, most daddies are financially stable. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're rich. What it means is that they're so good at managing their funds that they're in a position to like actually do more with what they got.
Or if they ain't stable, they at least better have some perks.
Right.
Remember, Atlanta daddy had me flying.
Right.
I was definitely on them flights. I had to break up with him though.
Listen, but then and then in our case, as black boys, racial privilege comes into it because
wait, we're gonna get into that because that's going. There's a whole section on that. I want to save that the POC perspective from daddy and boys.
Right. Okay.
Especially
let's not jump the gun.
Okay, so let's get into the guidance and leadership part. We talked about this, but I do want to address this one thing. How do you balance firmness with compassion when it comes to daddy boy relationships?
Oh wow. Honestly, like once that balance is struck for me, it's like immediate melt. Like and this is just me, right? I know that I'm from the kind of ecosystem, you know, like growing up in Jamaica where I'm used to people being very blunt, very firm, very direct about their desires and feelings, right? But at the same time, I've come across so many men who are not willing to back down in what they want, but then they're vulnerable enough to kind of like really open up, really share. And it feels like, okay, this is why I'm here. Like, I want to understand you too. Like, but I mean, honestly, it's not something that's easy. I think there are a lot of people that when they see daddy get into like this firm space, it's kind of like, oh, they're offended. But like in my mind, right? If you build that relationship, there is trust. And I'm going to trust in my daddy's guidance, right? Not blindly, but I'm going to trust, right?
So
the firmness is like good.
To get to blind trust, but that takes a lot. No. So let me explain. So my husband that passed away, that took a couple of years to build. But I got to a level with him where anything he told me to do, I knew that it was for my betterment. Y'all be giving that trust out way too soon.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Some of y'all do. I do like having blind trust with my daddy. I do want a relationship with my daddy where if daddy tells me to jump in the fire, like Shadrach, Eshach, and Abednego, okay? I want to be able to know that if daddy tells me to get in the fire, I'm not going to get burned. Yeah. And that type of trust takes time. But that is the level that I aspire. But what I do want to say something, because I do want to touch on the whole emotional firmness thing. Because one thing in Jamaica, they say, what they say, look here, boy. All right. But I do want to talk about the term boy because I do know it has some slavery aspects to it, right? And I remember I was engaging with a daddy who was a non-POC at the time, and he our mutual friend. Yeah. And he was like, I have a problem calling you boy because of the racial stigma that comes with black people being called boy. And I think that I want everyone, because some black people, because this is a black podcast, first of all, right? And a lot of y'all are like, I want to be boys, but I don't want nobody calling me no boy. And I've heard that from so many black people. And you have to, there's a difference in the term.
There's a very big difference.
It is not the same connotation to slavery of like, you are a boy. And I know hearing that from a white man, if you are a black individual, being a boy can have some, you do have to vet them. And that's why vetting daddies is important. But understand the connotation is different from the term boy. It is more father-son adjacent than it is slavery adjacent. Understand that. Now, the firmness aspect of it, you remember, it's still daddy boy, and we're still emulating father son, right? And there is a level of firmness that, like, when daddy adjusts his tone, he ain't joking. And when you get to that level where you have that trust, you do need to listen to him. Absolutely. Because what a daddy doesn't want to do is to continue to fight with a fucking boy.
Right. But, and you know, honestly, I've never really had a lot of experiences where I've had to have daddy be firm, because at the same time, it's kind of like,
I'm a brat. I be
like,
daddy off.
I'm more of the good boy type
I'm
of
a good boy, but I got a slick mouth. Like, I be saying shit to him.
No, Mark, I can be slick, because there's sometimes when daddy needs to get clocked. No,
Absolutely.
Like, if I have a daddy, right, and he out of pocket, I will clock him real quick.
Oh, you will hear my mouth. Period.
Which, you know, as we get on that topic, as we get on that topic, I have to rewind a little bit to something that you were saying. You were talking about the use of the term boy and how, you know, like, some people are like, well, you know, I'm not comfortable calling you that. And I don't know if this is your experience, but I almost kind of feel like that's a rehearsed line a lot of the times when so I find that a lot of the times when there are some daddies who engage a lot of boys of color, right?
And about white people.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
absolutely, there are more of them.
Like, I and this is no shade, right? But at the same time, I kind of feel like a lot of them do rehearse that line to kind of inspire safety. Kind of like, oh, I see you, and I say that at the risk of being controversial, but I kind of, like, facts are facts. We're talking about our experiences as, like, Black boys, and that's something that often runs through my mind. So I don't really take that. See, my thing is that I already know who the fuck I am,
absolutely.
Right? So no matter what the fuck you call me, I know who I am, right? Even after, like, I had a scene of degradation once, right? I've only ever done that with one person, and it was fucking thrilling. And, you know, like he called me faggot, and I'm like, okay, and, like, I got so lost in it. I was hot, right? But at the same time,
that was one of the questions in the kink segment. That was I didn't ask.
All right,
but where's degradation for you?
Okay, degradation
with someone that you like.
It's with someone I like. Definitely, I saw a 7-8.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it is. A few months ago, it was like a 2, but. You know, after that one experience, because, like, there was a lot of trust involved. But, like, coming back from that small tangent, right? I know who I am. And when you have that strong sense of identity, it doesn't matter what the hell somebody tells you. You going into things as a boy, it's very important to have your own identity, right? The second thing is that, yes, we know that there is that connotation from slavery. Sure. But to me, and this is something, again, I learned from a podcast I was listening to, that Full Call podcast. A lot of the times we use these terms in the community to kind of give, one, implied consent, and two, to set the tone for expectations.
Yes.
Right? So when I'm called boy, that's hot to me, because it tells me, like, okay, you're in that daddy headspace and you're ready to receive what I am ready to give.
Can I caveat, though? I think your and my experience may be a little different, because Jamaicans definitely call people boy.
Oh, absolutely.
And in Southern culture, being called boy is not the best thing. And I do think we do have to acknowledge them.
Oh, 100%.
Because, like, boy in Jamaica is like, look, you're boy, like, you're my boy, but like, don't try me. Right? But here, it's like, look here. Like, it's like you're a boy who's some random, you know, whatever word you want to put after that.
Right.
And you going to listen to what the fuck I have to say, because you going to do what I tell you.
And I'm glad you brought that up. And
the connotation is different for Caribbean use of the word boy, and how we're used to, because I never understood it. I'm like, I've been called a boy all my life by my mom and my father, and it's fine. And then Southerners are like, you say that, and now it's like, them is fighting words.
No, and you're right. And that's one of the reasons why I'm glad that you brought it up. I've found myself going into conversations where I have had to check my privilege. And when I talk about my privilege, I mean, growing up in a country where it's like 98% Black, right? Like, there's a different experience, even though we share a similar history to the Southern US. It, like, the experience of it is different. So having that kind of privilege where, you know, we didn't necessarily have as much racial tension currently, like in this now day and age, like, I understand that coming into this space, I have to be very cognizant of what the experience is for Black people in the U.S.
And
right?
Let's and as you say this, let's segment into the POC, but continue because we're going to talk about that next.
Yeah, like I mean, I just kind of feel like yes, my Caribbean experience has influenced that, but I also have seen where there are boys here, Black boys who are proud boys, right? Who are also proudly Black, right? But they are so resolute in who they are, right? So rooted in their identity that they can, and that's such an important thing, because when we think about the leather community, right, no matter what kind of play it is, whether it's daddy boy play, any kind of dom sub play, BDSM, whatever you're doing, right, your sense of identity is going to highly influence what your experience is, because you are playing in power dynamics, you are playing in situations where vulnerability is like paramount. If you don't have a strong sense of identity and who you are not ready to cross those lines.
Yeah, I agree.
You're not ready to cross those lines. So like
some boys do take more nurturing, but there needs to be a sense of individuality.
There has to be a sense of individuality.
Because you don't want some daddy molding you to his will.
Exactly.
Because this is the thing. Like I think the mindset of a sub in a dom dynamics, they come in there knowing what they want. Right?
Yeah.
And not all of them do, but they have a preference for like, this is where I would like for it to go, and I would like for you to lead me in this power dynamic.
Exactly.
A lot of boys come in there looking for something that they've never experienced, and because daddy boy relationships are so very emotionally heavily influenced.
Yeah.
If you don't vet your daddy right, you can end up doing things because those finite examples of love that you're giving sometimes may not be worth what you're experiencing with them. You know, and because of how vulnerable that they know that you can be taken advantage of. And boys need to be very careful of that.
Absolutely.
You have to know who you are.
Right. And you know, I have a lot of friends who are sober, and you know, we have a lot of conversations about like 12-step, and one of the things that's one of the tenets in their like in the 12-step program, they talk about how they have made the drug the higher power, right? I find that a lot of boys make the mistake of making the daddy or the dom their higher power, and they completely forget themselves, right? So once they kind of root them, if you are able to root yourself in a higher power that is not your daddy or dom, like me personally, I will never make any other person my higher power. My higher power.
If you make that person higher power, what do you bring to the table? Nothing. You ain't really got much to bring.
You're gonna forget yourself every single time.
What individually makes you a good boy for him?
Yep.
You have to have that part of yourself.
Yeah.
That is somewhat figured out. We're not saying you gotta have that all figured out, because that's the point of having a daddy, is to help you figure it out.
Yeah, right.
But you need to have a mold for who you are, and he can help guide you in building on that.
Yeah.
But there needs to be a foundation for you.
Yeah.
We're running out of time. We got about 7 minutes left. I do want to talk about the POC aspect, because this is very important. I did not mean to snap at you.
Oh no, you're good.
God. I'm so sorry. I just snapped. It just triggered me. Somebody snapped at me in the gym the other day. Like, I was loading the weights. He asked it was a group of guys. They're like, "Can we have the machine?" I was like, "Sure." So I finished the machine. I started putting my weights back. He's like, and I was like, I continue to put the machines away, the weights, and then the other guy said, "Hey, do you mind leaving the weights?" I said, "Absolutely." And then I came back and I'm like, "Don't you ever fucking snap at me?"
That was rude as fuck.
Again, to stop. He's like, "Well, I didn't mean." I said, "No, you don't snap at people. Use your voice." And I just snapped. So sorry. But POC perspectives on being in daddy boy relationships. We do need to talk about this. I'm gonna give mine, and I want to give you, because there's a cultural dynamic, and as Black men, we are taught that we have to be powerful. We have to be independent. We have to be everything and then some. And we can't have feelings, none of that is true, right? You can be vulnerable. You can be feminine as a boy. You can be masculine as a boy if that's what you want. None of that really matters. It's based about who you are. But I do think that there is a stigma where a lot of young boys want daddies, but especially when you get to our ages, right? We're in our 30s, and like you just looking at a 30-year-old man, you out here calling somebody daddy. What's wrong with you? Grow up, right?
All right.
And it's like, no, like I've met some 50-year-old boys.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I think that there is a cultural stigma that does need to be denounced. It's okay to be older and not have had that experience.
Yeah.
You know, and to want that experience. And I do think for Black men, I think so. Luckily, my daddy is Black. I'm so happy. But one of the things I think that is interesting in these dynamics is submission, especially in Black relationships, because we are always taught to be our own people,
baby,
and it's hard. And in white relationships, I think sometimes there's a small thing of like racial hangups and like, well, you want to submit to them because you know what they can probably offer you or give you emotionally or whatever you get from the relationship. But I think sometimes young Black men or Black men have a hard time submitting to another Black man.
Oh yeah. No, that Black men have issues submitting to anyone, because here's the thing: society has taught us to consistently be above reproach, to be the provider, to be the strong one, to be the vanguard, right? And so you know, it's taxing and it's tiring, and it's part of why a lot of us actually end up with desires to have a daddy, right? Now, here's where the shit gets complicated. Especially if you're going to move through a community like the leather community. The fact is, maybe 5-10% of the leather community is Black, right? Like let's be clear.
There has to be a part 2 of this episode.
And
fuck.
And in that 10%, most of the Black men who are in the community are actually like around our age, at least the ones that I see show up, right? So with that, odds are you looking for a daddy, odds are he gonna be white.
Yeah, that's a truth.
Odds are he's going to be white. And that's for 2 reasons. One, it depends on what you're looking for in your daddy. Or even your dom.
I want to clarify. If in leather spaces.
Let's be very clear.
Very clear.
Leather
There's plenty
spaces.
of Black daddies.
There's plenty of them.
But in leather spaces, they are predominantly white.
Yeah, they are predominantly white. It's a predominantly white space. But on one hand, you know, you think about like the people who have the experience and have the leather privilege and have all the access and who have the resources to actually be a daddy to somebody. And when we talk about resources, we're not talking about economic. We're talking about like emotional skills, all that, right? And so whenever I'm vetting a daddy, one of the things that I do, I tend to grade them. I have this whole interview process.
Checklist.
No, absolutely. I'm making a list and I'm checking it twice. But
I like it to be a little naughty and not nice.
Right. I can't with you. So 51% of the grade, yes, they're graded. 51% of the grade is how do they answer this question? You are trying to be a daddy to a Black boy of color in the United States. What challenges do you foresee and how do you plan to navigate them? Anybody who have engaged, right, in as a daddy who is not Black has to answer that question, right? And if they don't answer it right, that's an automatic fail.
Are you open to giving perspective to the proper answer, not examples?
So,
because I don't want to give people the answers to go say to young Black boys so you can get
right.
them. But I want people to understand why this question is important.
It's absolutely important, because my thing is that first of all, there's no one size fits all answer. Correct. Right. But the reason why the question is asked is because I need to know that when I'm experiencing my things as a Black boy, if I'm supposed to depend on you as a part of my emotional support system, you have to be either open to understanding me. You have to be able to sympathize or empathize. If you can't connect with me on that level, if you can't understand me in that way, and even if you don't, because odds are you won't, but at least try. If you're not willing to try, then, like, for example, if I'm talking to you about a Black issue and you get dismissive, or it's like, oh, you brush out. I'm like, all right, cool, move along. Like I will clock you real quick. Like,
that's when daddy gonna hear my slick ass motherfucking mouth.
Like, right, exactly. Like that's one of those moments where you got to start clocking people. Like, okay, cool. So I see it. Like, you can't see me like that,
how much
right?
you say good boy.
No,
when racial issues show up, as young black men, you do have to stand up. Do
Absolutely.
not let
Stand
the
your
need
fucking ground.
for your emotional feel. Take out the desire for standing up for who you are culturally as a black
Absolutely.
person. Okay, so and not to cut you off,
no, you good.
we do have to go. We do have to go. Before we go, we need a part 2 because there's so much that, and I feel like a lot of this is culture for us.
Yeah.
And how we experience things. I really appreciate you, Ruben. So, can you give the people your best hoe tip? Give them a good hoe tip.
Oh God.
We always have to head with a hoe tip.
Like you putting me on the spot now. Like there's so many things. I don't want to give them something too vanilla. I mean, this is frequency. You can't give the people vanilla.
Not you giving me the currency.
You can't be out here giving the people vanilla.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Because sometimes people need to be. I'll start. One thing I will say. I talked about that in the last episode.
Well, damn, he a tenor.
What do I want to say? I'm gonna say put more emphasis on foreplay, and you know what? X that. Learn how to be a good kisser. That first instance of getting to know somebody, especially when you have to look back and you meet, most interactions start off with a kiss, right? And that kiss will tell you a lot about a person sexually, right? It will open you to their oral skills, open you to their hygiene. Okay. Be open to kissing. I know a lot of y'all out here to like stick it, like to stick it in and run, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when it comes to building intimacy and open relationships, not open relationships, intimacy and intentional relationships, when it comes to sexual engagement, kissing is very important. And I feel like a lot of people kiss to get hard.
Yeah.
Slow it down. Enjoy the kiss.
Yeah.
Enjoy the make out session, and allow it to build arousal that would get you to heights that you probably never seen. That's my tip for y'all today.
Can I give a tip that's like a don't do?
Sure, absolutely.
Because like this shit keeps happening, and I do not like it. Like if I am fucking you, please do not try and push out. I'm sorry. Do
That's
not.
what you think.
No,
Push out.
No, like a lot of people are taught to push out because like, oh, it's supposed to like make it easier to take the dick or whatever. But like,
But it does.
Honestly, like
if you're fucking him,
relax.
do not push out with him.
Relax that hole.
Really?
Let that hole open up. Let my dick in. Do not push my dick out. I'm trying to push my dick.
Oh,
in.
you're saying when you're in them, you don't want them to push.
Yeah.
You
don't
out.
fucking push me out.
But maybe you got a lot of dick.
Listen. No, but
calm down.
No. But real talk though. I'm not talking about like there are people who are taught this idea that pushing out is this like, oh my God, it's this amazing thing and that the tops like it.
But
not every top. Sometimes they do,
okay.
But not every top likes it. So like, if I tell you to stop.
I think the tip here is listening.
Listen to your partner.
To your partner.
Yeah, that's a tip.
Because I remember there was someone I fucked at MAO, and everybody it wasn't until last MAO where I felt seen. I like loose holes. I do not like.
Yeah, don't be all tight.
I don't like tight stuff is
be experienced.
Straight men love tight pussy, right? I never heard no straight man say he like loose pussy, but like I feel like that's a heteronormative thing. I like holes that are open and sloppy and easy to get into.
Yeah.
I remember
I ain't trying to fight.
I'm not trying to fight to get your hole open.
I already did my workout in the gym.
And so I remember somebody at MAL fucked me, and like me, it's tight. But I clamped on him, and he's like, "Stop that!"
Right.
And he's like, I'm like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "Just open up for me. Like, I don't need you trying to like squeeze the fuck out."
Stop trying to do the most. Stop trying to do the most.
And I was like, "Okay," and I stopped, and I let him fuck me. But I fucked, and the reason why your tip is important is listen, because I feel like a lot of times we put our sexual desires on people.
Oh, absolutely.
We think what we expect them to want, because porn says tight holes are better, but baby, I like fucking a fisted hole. I do.
Right.
I think it's better. You can piss in it, you can nut in it, play around in it, go all that shit that you do.
Nope.
Like You can do all of that. But this is because Daddy be telling me to push out. I'm not gonna hold you.
But me personally, that shit don't work for me.
I don't want you to do that. So if y'all slide into his DM,
just relax.
Just relax.
Let
him lead the way. Let him lead you.
Because honestly, like it. So a lot of people typecast me as this very dominant person, which I can be at the time. I'm very switchy, right? But at the same time, like I will flip into that dom mode. I will grab you by the fucking neck. It's like if you push that hole out one more fucking time.
Ooh.
Like,
look, tell the camera that. Tell the camera that.
If you push that hole out one more fucking time, we're gonna have some problems.
Oh.
I have to and obviously like when you're being dominant, it doesn't mean like hurt somebody, but like sometimes you just gotta set the pace and you gotta like set the tone. Like this is what we doing. This is what we're doing.
Stop the romping. Tell the people where they can find you on social media.
King David Lyncoln on Instagram and Lockedlion LOCDLION on Blue Sky.
Thank you guys for watching another episode. This is our Daddy Boy episode. We appreciate you for being here and tuning into Frequency Podcast. We post every Monday, and we will see you on our next episode. Bye, guys.
Bye.